to the Golden State Warriors News Today channel. Take the opportunity to leave that like and subscribe to the channel. Let's go to today's news.
Warriors News Fan Update brings you the latest news on the Golden State Warriors. And now the question is, who will be the team's next reinforcements? With 2 open roster spots and the buyout market heating up, the Warriors have the chance to add key pieces for a strong push this season. The arrival of Jimmy Butler has changed the team's landscape, and with Quinton Post now officially on the main roster, the team has the flexibility to bring in more talent. But who are the ideal candidates for these spots? One name that always sparks discussion among fans is Seth Curry. Yes, Steph's brother is available on the market, and despite being 34 years old, he still has one of the deadliest shots in the NBA. This season, he is shooting 47% from three-point range and an impressive 54% from the corners. Imagine the impact a specialist of this level could have alongside Steph and Butler. Another player entering the conversation is Bojan Bogdanovic. The veteran, who recently averaged 20 points per game, is still recovering from an injury, but if healthy, he could bring extra offensive firepower off the Warriors bench. The big question here is it worth the risk to bet on someone without a set return date? And let's not forget Reggie Jackson, an experienced point guard who could finally provide a reliable backup for Steph. His ability to organize the game and space the floor could be a difference-maker in Steve Kerr's system. With a season in full swing and a fierce play-in battle, every move could be decisive. The Warriors need to act fast before other teams make their moves. Now I want to know, who do you think would be the best choice to strengthen the roster? Seth Curry? Bogdanovic? Reggie Jackson? Or is there another name on the radar? What makes this phase of the season so exciting for the Warriors is that any move could be the difference between a playoff push or another frustrating year. With the Western Conference getting more competitive, bringing in the right reinforcement could completely change the team's fate. Looking at the schedule, the team has a favorable stretch of games that could boost their comeback. With matchups against teams like the Hornets, Magic, Sixers, Nets, and Pistons, there is a window of opportunity to rack up wins and climb the standings. But for that to happen, roster depth will be crucial. That's why Mike Dunleavy Jr. and the front office need to make the right call. A player like Seth Curry would add even more firepower from the perimeter, something that could ease the pressure on Steph and Klay when healthy. Meanwhile, Bogdanovic, if he returns at a high level, would bring a reliable offensive presence, someone who can create his own shot and relieve the rotation. And Reggie Jackson, he could solve a long-standing problem for the Warriors, the lack of a reliable backup point guard. Now the question is, will the Warriors go after reinforcements to compete immediately, or will they keep these spots open for future opportunities? The team's history shows that they prefer not to act impulsively, but with time running out, patience may not be the best strategy. The pressure is on Dunleavy Jr., and fans are expecting quick answers. After all, the franchise still has championship ambitions, and every reinforcement could be the missing piece to get this team back on top. So, Warriors family, which of these options makes the most sense for the team? Who would you like to see wearing the blue and gold jersey in the coming weeks? Comment below and be part of this discussion. Fire. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, now is the time. Subscribe to Warriors News Fan Update, turn on notifications, and don't miss any updates on the Golden State Warriors. Honestly, as a Golden State Warriors fan, I see this buyout window as a crucial opportunity for the team to address some of its weaknesses and strengthen the rotation for this final stretch of the season. We can't afford to make mistakes in these moves, because the Western Conference is extremely competitive, and any slip-up could be costly. If I had to choose, Seth Curry would be one of my top picks. Not just for the emotional factor of playing alongside Steph, but because the Warriors desperately need consistent three-point shooting, especially from the bench. Seth is knocking down nearly 50% of his perimeter shots. Imagine him playing alongside Steph, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green, spacing the floor and punishing opposing defenses. He wouldn't solve all the team's problems, but he would be an immediate impact addition. Now, if the team wants to bet on a more versatile and offensively stronger reinforcement, Bogdanovic is an intriguing option. But the big concern here is his physical condition. Is it worth using one of the few roster spots on a player whose return timeline is still uncertain? If the Warriors had a solid position in the standings, I would consider the risk. But since the team is still fighting to secure a spot, this gamble could backfire. On the other hand, Reggie Jackson doesn't excite me that much. He could be useful as Steph's backup, but I don't think he would be a game changer capable of transforming the team. If they're going to bring in a point guard, I prefer someone more reliable at game management and with a bigger defensive impact. Looking at the Warriors' current reality, I would focus on a player who is ready to contribute immediately, so Seth Curry would be the safest and most logical choice. But if the franchise is willing to take risks, Bogdanovich could be an interesting name, provided he is healthy and ready to play as soon as possible. Now I want to hear from you. Who would be the best choice to strengthen the Warriors right now? Do you agree with me about Seth Curry, or do you think a name like Bogdanovich would be worth the risk? Comment below.